I'm all the way up to about 60. I'm anywhere between 50 to 65%. If I'm on the higher end, it can't need that much work. I don't. If it needs like full guts, I try not to go above 52.
Yeah, the one Bank of America may do.
Yeah. So so now what would happen is the person who wants the home, who wants to buy it, right? What I would do is the rate and the terms of my seller finance with the owner would just have to be how much do I want to make cash flow, right? A couple hundred, I just say $300. And then number two, or primarily, you want to make sure that seller finance deal is payment to you is greater than the mortgage to the payment to the Bank of America. Because now you're just going to take this money, pay whatever you need to pay over here, and keep the rest.
So instead of a flip, that would probably
I would hold it now. Most likely I'm going to end up I'm going to still buy it because I've got money into it. And I know this is where you can create a lot of different scenarios.
Yeah.
Remember I told you real estate is being like a legal, legal crook. That's not going to show up on my social media, just so y'all know that. But it's literally like whatever you can think of. This is my strategy, and this is how I run my business. I sit in my office and I just come up with these crazy scenarios, and then I just email my attorney. And I say, hey, look at this scenario. Is there anything in this scenario that would put me in jail? If he says yes, fix it so I don't end up in jail, and let's go. That's literally what I do. I don't figure out all the other stuff. If I come up with something, I write it down, I email it, and let the people who are supposed to protect me. That's it. My 10 toes are always on the edge in every deal. That's just I'm game for that type of risk. But when it comes to private lending, you'll never get a deal like that. I just won't bring it to you because I don't want you guys taking on that much risk. So when the deal comes to you, so this deal that we're talking about right now in Camden City, that deal would come to you when it's at a level foundation, right, where things aren't shaky. I know exactly what's going on. I know exactly what the numbers look like. I know my projections are solid. It's on data. I know where we're moving. But like what's going on now, I would have never brought it to you and said, hey, give me 20 G so I can take this risk and I'll pay you. Because now look what happens. I'm held holding the bag on 20 G's that I gotta pay back. That deal's dead. I don't take those types of risks when it comes to private lending. Majority of my deals, if they're a high level of risk, my money's into it first. Then when it's at a...
Now when you go to your lenders, are you running title before?
Yeah, so it's simultaneously. So what I do is the deal gets under contract, I go right to the title company, they start their process. On the parallel motion, I'm also creating my one-page teaser and sending it to all my private investors. They look at it. If they want to invest, they email me back like, yeah, I'll invest half that, okay? Or I'll invest I'll fund the entire deal. Right now, I'm usually at one investor per deal because the deals just aren't that large, right? People can mostly fund them. While that's going on, I'm telling my title company, hey, make sure that it's a lender's policy. Here's the lender's details. It's Raven. Her address is XYZ. She's going to be lending from her retirement account. Here's all the details for that. I send an email with you and the title company so that now you guys are connected. And if the title company, which likely they will, have some questions for the lender, they'll directly message you because I don't want your personal information. So they'll coordinate all that details. So that's going on at the same time. The day of closing, the title policy is in place, like we're ready to fulfill it. And the day of closing, maybe 24 hours or 48 hours prior to closing, you've sent your money wired or a cashier's check to the title company, not me. So now the title company holds that money. When the deal closes, or it's happening, they're using your money that you're going to invest into the deal, which is now I'm going to sign at the day of closing, promissory note, mortgage, personal guarantee, and any title documents. And then the title company is going to file that in the public records. So now whenever I go to refinance or sell it, it's going to come up like, hey, there's this mortgage. So that's where you get put on to the lender's title policy. Any other questions, or should I move on?
So I mean, you got about like 8 more slides. I don't know if you want to just get through them, so then I guess you guys can ask questions after, so we can at least finish.
Yeah, that's fine. So now we're in phase 2, evaluating the investor, right? I'll go through these. So track record is obviously, you know, hey, how's this person performing? Ask for the track record. What have you done? And if they have no track record, do you have mentors or anybody else that you work with? And if you do, are they going to be guiding you on this project? If they say yes, get their details as well. Call them. Make sure it's legit. All right. So track record, acquisitions at an attractive price. So I'm buying it at a good deal. Renovation that is speedy, right? So A+ contractors. Successful sale at price that yields a profit. That's my ARV, my evaluation that I'm doing ahead of time. That's the documentation I'm going to present to you. Exit strategy, I talked about that, right? What are my exit strategies in the deal? And I never ever go into a deal with only one exit strategy. Never. And I would encourage you that you do the same. Never go in with just one exit strategy, because if that exit strategy goes, what are you going to do?
Right.
So I always go at minimum with 3. All right? You go. Who does the work? So I already talked about this. Contractors, right? A+ contractors. Get the contractor's information. Their license number for their builders, contract license, electricians, plumbers. You want to make sure qualified people are working on the job. Sometimes what they'll do is they'll get what you call certified electricians to do the work, and then somebody else will pull the permits. Now look, as you build a level of trust, those things can work. But when you're in your beginning phases, I encourage you that the project is ran and worked on by licensed professionals. Why? It's another level of protection for you that qualified work is being done. Quality work too. Okay, phase 3 now is evaluating your investment goals. Okay, this is essentially comes down to your why. Why do you want to get involved into it? And only you can define that, right? Maybe you're already doing some deals. You have money sitting in the bank account. You want to leverage it and put it out into the real estate market. So you want to definitely define your investment goals. And then there's 2 types, right? We got short-term and long-term. Majority of my projects right now are in short-term. They're anywhere around between 3 to 6 months. We've now positioned more. We're getting more deals in the long-term portfolio, larger apartment buildings, mobile home parks. So we're starting to take those down. So we have long-term projections as well. Right?
You're doing any new building or just renovations?
I didn't want to get my license for new build, okay, because that carries like a whole nother insurance policy. I didn't want to deal with it. So I'm working with my contractor for him to go get it. So now,
what license do you need for a new build?
you need a new builder's license, because you have to offer, when you do a new construction, you have to offer a 10-year warranty.
Gotcha.
So that requires a whole different license and application, obviously having the insurance, which I don't plan on doing hundreds of new builds, right? So I'd rather let the contractor get it, because they're going to be more exposed to that, doing those. Even if they do a few with me, they can partner with other guys and girls and do more new build projects. So I don't want it. Maybe sometime down the line, but right now I don't need it. Go ahead. Okay. So this is like kind of the bonus of the presentation. Where's the money, right? Like, where's it coming from? And that, you gotta have to answer that for yourselves. But I put up a few, 3 areas where you can get money, right? Number 1, you can, if you have self-directed IRAs, and if you need more about IRA accounts and things like that, you want to learn more, just let me know.
What's the difference between a self-directed and a Roth IRA?
So a self-directed, you can manage both, but a self-directed, you are technically the custodian of the money. So you get to decide where that money is going to get invested into.
Roth the same too, Don.
That's
Don't
what I'm
confuse it.
talking
about.
It's but say like your job gave you a Roth, the self-directed would be different than the job Roth.
It's just exactly what it
You know
means,
what I'm
self. You
I
self-direct,
control it.
you
You
control it.
control
Now IRS has a code as to what you can invest into. I know 100% you can invest into real estate. That's my niche. But there are other things, like when you get a job and let's say you get a 401k, right? What naturally happens? When you get paid pre-tax, they take, let's say, 3%. The company matches it, 3%. Okay, let's just say it adds up to being $1,000. Now that $1,000, who's investing it? The custodian of the 401k. They're diversifying it. When you determine, hey, I want to be in high risk, low risk, or moderate, they're gonna find stocks, mutual funds, bonds, and put your money in there. They're gonna decide that for you. Self-directed, you say, hey, I'm gonna put this money in this account. I want to invest it with Darji Capital. Please direct the funds into this. Here's all the documentation for it, so you get to manage it. I actually now there's something that a lot of people don't know about. When you have a 401k at your job, you can actually transition that or do what's called an in-service rollover. So you can do a self-directed IRA while you still work for your company. Now, not every company offers it, so you're definitely gonna have to.
Pepsi didn't offer it.
Yeah, not everyone's gonna offer it because it's a very like.
They don't think you know. They be like, huh? How you know?
Yeah, it's a very savvy type of strategy that where you can still work and manage your investment portfolio. Shameless plug, but I got a YouTube video on it, so go check it out and subscribe.
You guys better subscribe to the YouTube channel after this.
Good, you can go to the next one. So number 2 is your home, okay? If you own a home and right now, if you bought your house, let's say, how many of you own a home?
You talk to me. I mean, I'm trying to do this right now.
Okay, all right. So here's what you're gonna do. When did you buy it? What year?
Last year. This year. Well, both last year.
Okay. You should probably have some equity built up into it, just based on appreciation. Probably not a lot. I'm just gonna be honest with you. But the way you do it is, when you have equity built up from, let's say the house is worth $100,000. Okay. Right now, after repair value, and you have a mortgage for $50,000. 100,000 minus 50,000 is how much?
50,000.
So you have $50,000 worth of equity. What you can do is either a cash out refinance or a home equity line of credit. Now here's what I would recommend. This is my recommendation. You do not have to take it. You should consult your CPA. You should consult your lawyer. I am not a CPA or I'm not a lawyer. Disclaimer. Okay. If you are heavy into real estate investing, like you are constantly doing deals, cash out refinance will work. Here's why. Because when you do a cash out refinance, let's say at the $50,000 mortgage, your monthly payment is $500. But you do a cash out refinance to $100,000, your mortgage payment is gonna go up because now you're borrowing more money. Let's say it's $1,000. On a cash out refinance, your mortgage is automatically there. You owe that $1,000 every single month, no matter what, right? Because that's your mortgage.
Right.
On a HELOC, what you do is you get a line of credit. Think of it as like a credit card. Okay? When you use a credit card and you only pay the minimum balance and then you carry a balance, they charge you what? Interest. So on a HELOC, you have, let's say, mine is with Citizens Bank. So I have money with Citizens Bank. I have this HELOC. Now I have money in that account. Let's say it's $100,000. When I take, let's say, Raven, she needs 50 G's for an investment deal. When I take that money and give it to Raven for that deal, now I start getting charged monthly payments on that $50,000. Okay? Now obviously I know that the terms I'm going to give to Raven is going to be much higher than what I'm paying on this mortgage, on this home equity line of credit. So when she gives me my monthly payment, I'm gonna go pay $200 toward this, and the $800 goes into my pocket as profit. Now,
Because you have to at least
go
pay
ahead.
$1,000, right?
I have to pay whatever that
You
HELOC
use the money.
is, whatever money I've used, I have to pay that monthly payment.
All right, real quick, where do you go to get a HELOC?
So
if I'm mortgaged with Penny Mac, 'cause
they have it. TD Bank.
Penny Mac.
They should have it too. So go to their website and say Penny Mac HELOC. Just Google it. They'll have an account.
Yeah, Citizens. I got mine do Citizens too. They do the HELOC, you say, right?
Yes, they do.
Now, Is the documents crazy with you not being employed? Cause that's my biggest thing. I don't got the strong W-2 now.
So that may be an issue, but the other thing you can do is go to local banks.
All right.
See, a little secret with local banks is they don't sell their portfolio.
That's what I thought it was. You go to local banks.
I mean, the way I strategize it is I get a back end promissory. So, because I don't have a W-2. Now here's how you can get around that. Just do an S corp and just turn it into and hire yourself as a W-2, and now you got a W-2.
Say no more.
So you just convert your LLC into a different type of filing. I think it's a 2338 document as an S corp. Now, when you are an S corp, you just hire yourself as a W-2, and all the dividends that are left over, the profits, you can disperse it to the owners of the S corp, which is you. So that's how you can find other ways to get that done. But again, it goes back to the word of trust. If you can get somebody to leverage it, right? So if you replace this H with a B, I didn't put it up here because this is about private. But if you replace this H with a B, then it's called business equity line of credit. Ooh. So now what you're doing is this. How many properties you have, you said? 5. Okay. On a business line of equity, what you're doing is, let's say Lillian needs a loan. You are going to leverage your 5 properties as a business line of credit and be able to lend to Lillian. So now you're going to, instead of going through a home equity, which is your traditional TD banks and your Citizens, things like that, you're going to find other banks that provide you business equity line of credit.
I've never heard of that.
That's kind of crazy, you know what? But then where would you get like all the like the contracts and stuff like that? Where would you go to hire a lawyer for our deal?
I always work with attorneys. I don't
CPA, little CPA.
Yeah.
Little.
That could draw everything up for you, so that
100%. Yeah. Listen, guys. Attorney's probably gonna cost you $1,500. Just pay it. Saves you a headache. Like, and here's what happens. Once you get the documents done, and now it's a template, right? Like, he's not doing new laws every time you do a deal, right? What you do is you email the attorney and say, hey, based off of your previous documents that you gave me, has any law changed that affects these documents? If they say no, then all you're gonna do is switch out the names, the addresses, and put it for the new deal. That's all you do.
Right.
So it's a one-time thing. So my motto is this: every time I do something new, I always let the attorney do it first, because he's always gonna create a plan for me that's gonna protect me. Now, once I have that plan, now it's just rinse and repeat, right? So, because the document flow is not gonna change. So, spend the money, get the.
So in situations like this, right? Because we all know that this HELOC, that's putting your home into jeopardy. So what cases would you take a HELOC out, like for yourself? Like, what calculated risk would you do?
So I would take a home equity line of credit when I know what type of deal that I had based on my data, right? Like I told you.
On the
I'm looking at it as, so if I'm lending, are you talking if I'm lending?
Like if you wanted to use your money,
to lend.
Well, not even to lend, just to use the money to invest into a property, whether it's another building that you
Oh, sure. So I tell you, so how do you evaluate your deal for the 5 that you bought, or that you own?
You know what?
Not calling me.
So let's just say you had
paid so much for the house.
So let's just say you had a system, you called Raven, she walked you through everything, and you said this is a deal. And you know you got money tied up in your house, use it. I'm telling you right now, I'm not effing around. Listen, everybody, all eyes up here. I'm not effing around. Do not take this out and go on a vacation. Right. Do not take this out and go pay your student loans off. Do not take this out and go pay your car off or go buy a new car. You only do this if you're gonna invest that money
into something that's
gonna make you money. Because the minute you use this money and other stuff, and you don't have enough funds coming in to cover that cost of a new car payment, let's say, or another house, it's gonna be because you're responsible to pay this off. It's like another mortgage, and if you don't pay this, that company is gonna come after you to foreclose you. Mm-hmm. So please, this conversation is about investing. Investing means you're looking to make a profit, right?
And your current mortgage that you got, you still have to pay your current mortgage on top of that.
Yep, exactly.
Does it always
Because
have to be with the
yes.
same person?
They don't have to be. No, it can be somebody else. If you go with somebody else, most likely what they'll do is they'll clear out the mortgage and then give you a home equity line of credit, so everything stays with one bank. So they'll probably set you up like that.
Cancel out the original.
My opinion and my recommendation is if you have a mortgage with TD Bank, just go to them. They were already giving you business. You've given them business. They're more likely to work with you. That's how I would. I mean, so I have a Citizens business account. So whenever I do this, I just stick with them.
I'm gonna go to them too. What small bank you recommend? BMT?
Federal credit unions and things like that.
I got that already.
There's
How many banks would you recommend using?
Say that again.
How many banks would you recommend using?
On deals?
Just like it just as
You
far
should
as
know
how
every
you
single
work
bank.
in versus-
You should know every single bank.
No, use them, like build relationships.
Every single one, build them. You should set a day in your calendar. Let's say it's Monday. You got appointments set up with every local bank. Go talk to them. Go sit down and then you tell them like, hey, I want to meet with the branch manager. Don't give me no associate or nothing. I want the one who's running the bank. And then the small banks, like I was telling you, they don't sell their portfolio. Meaning, when a TD Bank does a mortgage, they go to the market and sell that mortgage to Fannie and Freddie Mac. Small banks, because they need that interest income coming in, they hold that mortgage in-house. So they're always looking to make more money. So if you go to these banks and say, hey, look, I got this deal. This is what I do. I have this deal, and I get these deals all the time. I wanted to know if we could create a relationship where, hey, you fund these deals. In the beginning, you're going to have to show some skin in the game. Trust again, right? Like we all look at banks like the holy grail. No, they need us. They need us, because without us, they can't make money. So the more trust you start building with these banks, the more these branch managers are like, all right, yeah, just go ahead, fund it.
No.
So I'm saying, so that's how they do it. I know this one gentleman, he just walks into the bank, hands in the deal, he looks at it, they sign the check, and he's off. They fund the 100%. The acquisition cost, the rehab cost, everything. He has no money in the deal. I do projects like that. There's projects where I don't have any of my money in the deal. That's based off of relationships. All right. The third one, CDs. A lot of people don't know this, but let's say you have CDs, right? Certificates of deposits. They're usually for a period of time, 3 years, 5 years, 7, 10, so on and so forth. But if you find someone like me that looks at the associated cost of you taking that money out, because you're going to have a penalty, I would, if the deal works, I'll pay that penalty. I'll pay your penalty to get the funds out so you can invest it with me. So that's another way you can leverage it. It's really only going to work if you can help them with the penalty, because there is a penalty associated with it. It's just natural. So the deal's good, do it. Go ahead. So this is, I don't know if you guys can see this or not. It's a little blurry here, I apologize. But this is my track record, right? I mean, these aren't all the deals we've done. These are just deals that we use private funding. So in these 10 projects, we've taken in funding of 1.2 million or 1.29 if you want to round it, right? We've paid out on profits 107,000, which averages out to about 8% on your money. Right? We have some deals were just higher, right? 15, you got 12s, some are lower, 3, 5, 8. The average has been around 8%. Like I was telling you, right? First position lien, anywhere between 7 to 10% is what you're looking at. Some of your second positions, you're gonna have a little bit higher. As you can see here, you see 97 Whitman, I have it twice. I had 2 guys on it. Luckily, the second guy came in a little bit lower, which was great for me. But yeah, these are the deals that we've took funding on, but there's a handful of other projects that we've just did ourselves. So, if you wanna, I'm sorry.
So are
you have any
they
questions?
funding that whole thing? Like, let's say 13, 16, start there.
This one's not. Okay, 6 and 7 are not funded 100%. I have skin in the game. Everything else is 100% funded. But you see, go back.
Sorry.
So that.
So you are hard on
So on one of those deals, like, how much skin in the game do you have? Let's
These
say
deals
for number
here?
One. Well,
These two I have skin in the game, so I'll go over the numbers. I have these two. I'm sorry. I have 30% skin in the game, and then in this one I have 25% skin in the game. So that we bought it. So I believe I have 27,000 into this, and I have 36,000 into this one. This was the first deal that I did with Lending Home, so they wanted more leverage. This is the second one, and I have a few others that I have going on. So now they put me in the preferred program. So any questions here, guys? I'll make sure I answer anything that you have.
So the profits paid is what you were paid.
I'm paying my investors, yes. So each of these deals has a mortgage, promissory note, and a personal guarantee filed. Based off of that,
Now,
there's
how
a-
many people are you doing per deal on average?
how many investors do I bring on? Only one. So like this project, I'm sorry, this project has two. This obviously had two, and everything else is one. Just one person.
Is that Willowbrook Way, Mount Holly?
Voorhees. Yeah. So this deal, right? Private fund. So we bought it for 206.5 all in. Now it's a quick rehab in and out, right? But based on what market trends are, I'm probably gonna add another 40,000 in profits on the back end, where people didn't see it. So people found this price tag too high. I found an intrinsic value that I could add, hit that grand slam. I'm pretty confident I'll hit it, based on what data is showing me, right? This deal here, 97 Whitman, I'll give you the number. I bought it for 120. I was, rehab was 60, okay? Then I had about 20,000 in interest payments, a little bit more, because you can see 20, let's just call it 25, right? So what's that? 80, so 205. I sold it for 335. Now here's the thing. This is where the data has to drive the factor, right? When I bought it, I was gonna list it fixed up 285. I was gonna list it for 285. And I was gonna be comfortable. I knew I was gonna make money. But as the market kept changing, I also had a grand slam number. I said, okay, I wanna get 330. That'd be great if I can get it. That was my grand slam. Okay. Now during the process of the flip, somebody sold a house for 354.9. I'm like, bang, I'm gonna get it. I know I'm gonna get it. I had no doubts. Like 3 months before I was gonna complete this project, I already knew what I was gonna get, because I know how to work the numbers, right? I know how appraisers think. I know how to evaluate a deal, and I gained about 70 G's worth of equity.
So you always ask for more money than you need, because we're using 4 and 5. That's about.
No, I don't ask for more. No, I ask only for what the deal needs. So when for example, when somebody's funding a full project, I better be damn sure about my rehab costs.
So as far as 4 and 5, you said you bought it for 205, no?
I bought it for 120.
120.
So this 150 covered 120 purchase price. 30,000 was for renovations, okay? And then I bought in an extra 57
To rehab it.
for the rehab, because I saw the appreciation. So I did a little bit more higher end finishes. So I brought this person in to be able to cover the cost. I could have put it myself. I could have.
So the total price of the project was almost it was like 207.
Yeah.
And you sold it for
335.
335. You made a big profit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with the first renovation, you say you put 30. You was gonna put 30 in there. What you think you could have walked away with 285 at that time?
I was my number at that time. Remember I told you three numbers. Worst case, so this person gets their entire money back. So I knew that I was fine there. Second was for my profitability. So I projected it at 285 as the ARV, the fixed up comp. And then as I was about halfway through my project, after getting all the demo done, electrical, plumbing, we were ready to put the place back together, the comp popped up. And I evaluated the comp. And that comp didn't have the level of finishes that I was gonna have. Now that comp did have a basement. So they call it a bedroom in the basement, right? You have to be careful about this. If it has no egress window, it's not a room. It's not considered a room, just so you're aware, okay? If it does not have an egress where somebody can jump out of, it's not considered a bedroom. So because I know this, it was listed as a 4-1-1. Four beds, 1 bath, 1 full bath, 1 half bath, okay? But I know that the appraiser wasn't gonna count the downstairs as livable space because you only evaluate it on above living space, okay? So now I made my house apples to apples. So I said, okay, but now there's also a buyer mentality knowing they know that they have extra space downstairs.
Stage it.
So what I did, my property was a straight rancher. So I subbed it back down and I said, okay, instead of listing at 350, I'll list it at 335. I'm accommodating for a potential buyer's thought process of, hey, there's no downstairs. So I backed down about what, 15, 20,000? 8 days and I was under contract.
When you're getting lending, do you see that they want a certain amount? Because I've reached out to a lender and they're like, the purchase price has to be like $100,000 or more.
Yes. So they do. I don't know exactly lending homes criteria. They do have them. They did give them to me. I can certainly share it with you all, but I don't know off the top of my head because all my projects kind of been up here. So I haven't had to really deal with any like low limit lendings. But I'll share it to you.
Overlook lending homes.
Lending homes is good. I'll give you my personal contact that I work with there.
Yeah,
he handles all my accounts.
I definitely overlook.
Yep. All right, you can go to the next one. So we did the bonuses, right? Okay. So we have 2 projects coming up. So I already own this building. Okay. So I bought it. We're just waiting for the engineers to give me the drawing so I can initiate the work or get the permits and everything.
Damn, 6 units.
So this is a 6-unit in Vineland. Okay. So the fund requirement on this, so rehab it, because it's a 6 unit, it's a lot of rehab. So our fund requirement that we're raising is $315,500. Right now, the rate offered is 10%, which is paid monthly. So that's your interest payment. And then you also get a built-in equity of 20%. So what does that mean? The valuation on this building, based off the 6 units and what I'm going to do, is going to be around $900,000. Okay. So at $900,000, when you go take a stabilized asset. Do you know what stabilized means to a bank? Okay, stabilized asset means this. On commercial, it means that for 90 days, you have 90% vacancy or occupancy, and you've collected rents for 90 days. Okay, so each month you've collected rents. When you hit those 2 targets, you are now physically able to go to an institutional bank, TD Bank, Wells Fargo. I don't think Wells Fargo is around anymore. Bank of America, Chase, Columbia, Citizen, and ask them for a refinance loan. So what do I do at that time? I know at Citizens Bank I'm going to get probably like a 4.25%, 4.5% interest rate, right? Now, banks will only leverage 70 to 75%. If you've been doing a lot of business, they'll go up to 80% of the ARV, the after repair value. So I told you that after repair value on this building is going to be $900,000. Okay? Times that by 0.7. So that gives you around $650,000. Right? My all-in cost is $315,000, right? So let's just make it easy. $600,000 minus $300,000 is how much?
Yeah.
$300,000. Somebody do this math on your phone real quick. $300,000 times 0.20 or 0.2.
30,000.
All right, smart.
60. Sorry.
60, right? Okay. So this 20% equity not earns you this, but on top of that, you get 60 G's.
On the back end.
On the back end, when I refinance it, when I stabilize that asset, you make an additional 60 G's.
So after 3 months.
Well, this project is longer. It's going to be about a 18-month project.
Okay.
So this is one person helping you finance it?
No, so I'm presenting it to you guys if you want to get involved.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said it's a project that long. Is it already zoned commercial and everything?
Yes, it's I already have the zoning. I have everything done. I own this building. That's mine. But what I was waiting for, what I didn't want to do is raise this money, knowing that the township is going to take a couple
That's your
months for me to
question,
approve the permits.
Why you won't want to keep that building?
I am keeping it.
Okay,
That's
okay.
a-
No, this ain't good. I'm not selling this.
Alright, yeah.
No, this is where, so
I
so
see it 16,
I'm gonna break this
like,
down
whoa.
in a couple of things. So I didn't want to raise the money and take it on, knowing that I wasn't gonna be able to work on it for about 3 months. Between the permits getting approved and the engineer getting me the drawing so that I can submit for the permits. The engineer had a COVID attack in the office. So it was like one person doing like 30 drawings. So I got delayed. So imagine paying interest for 4 months on a project that I'm not doing nothing with. I'm losing money. So because this rate offered at 10% means that, let's say one of you lend this entire deal, right? I'm paying you 10% on a monthly basis, right? So that's for 18 months, you're collecting 10%, right? So think about that money that's being made. Then when I go and refinance it, because I know it's a pretty decent sized deal, I'm also kicking you guys in 20% additional, like, because I'm refinancing it. So on top of this 18 months of payments, you're also gonna get another additional 60 G's on the back end. So I think the total averaged out to about,
Now, when you say 60 G's, that's all equity, right?
that's equity.
Now,
So
meaning you still have equity for future references, or like?
I'm not gonna pull equity for me.
Okay.
So that 300,000 that's left, after, let's say, giving you guys the 60 based on the fact that we hit the number for the projection, that leaves with 240, right?
So you still have I'm just trying to get at, you still have ownership.
The ownership is mine.
Okay, so that's just equity.
Yeah,
Okay.
what I'm doing is, from a private lending perspective, positioning you guys to make money on earning interest on the investment that you're putting in. This is how I'm leveraging it.
What they call this? I know, is this like private equity?
Private lending.
Private lending, okay.
Man, you didn't pay attention to my title, bro. Man, that's the first slide. You must have been sleeping,
I got a
bro.
question. So basically,
Nah, it's all making starting to
like,
click.
this is just the private lender side, but basically, if we were to, let's say, buy this building with you, that would be what, a LP or a GP?
So, you want to go to the next one?
Because that's what you're talking about.
All right, so this is the other building that I'm buying, okay? It's a property like 10 minutes from Miami Beach, okay? It's 7920 East Drive. I already have it. It's 24 units, right? The fund requirement on this project is 5.5 to 6 million, right? Renovation costs and everything, acquisitions, all that. So what I'll do also is I'll put my money up, and then once I buy it, I'll get it back out when I do the fund, right? So
When you say you already have it, you have control of it.
I have control of this building, yes, right? So I'm gonna close this deal. The acquisition price is, I think, 4.2 million, right? If I don't fund this by the time I close, I'll just do it myself, right? But then what I'll do is, once the deal gets going, I will get my money back out by bringing other capital in, other people's money. So now, when I get my money back out, I can go find more deals, right? Now, the rate offered on this is 10%. Now, this is a 24-month project. And I'll break down the timeline for you. The equity being offered is 60%, okay? Now, this is a long-term hold. What does that mean? That means at 60%, we're gonna refinance, but we're gonna refinance to better terms, not to take the money out. You're gonna be in this project with me for anywhere between 5 to 7 years. So what you would do is this. Every month, let's say I make on the project $100,000 in net income, rents. 60% of that is broken down, right? After expenses is paid, debt service is taken care of, 60% of that goes to you, right? Now let's fast forward 7 years from now. Right now, this building, when I have it ready in 2 years, is worth $12 million. Okay? So obviously in 7 years, it's gonna be worth more. It might be worth, let's say, 15, 20. So let's, at that 7-year mark, calling it 20 million, after taking care of debt service, which is mortgages, payments, and everything, when we go to sell it, there should be about, what, let's say we say 15, $9 million left, 60% of that is yours. 60% of 9 million is yours. So now this one person might fund all of it. I have a guy lined up that probably might fund the whole thing. But usually you get a group of people to.
Something out of state like that. What's your plan as far as the construction? Like, how do you?
So I'm going to put a project manager there, right? I'm still going to oversee the project, and I'm working with my current contractor here in New Jersey to fly him and keep his crew down there in Florida. So then he can go work the project, and I don't have to worry about it because I trust him.
You gonna pay for their stay?
Yeah, I'll cover expenses. My man, the project is worth $11 million. Brian, you're missing the point. In they're gonna get this property. So here's how the timeline breaks down. Okay, large projects. Like I gotta renovate all 24. You see the roof, right? Yeah. The roof, like back there where you see the green, that's the water. That's the water. That's the bay. Yeah. Okay, so project like this will probably take around like anywhere between 9 to 12 months to fully renovate. Right?
Is that a hotel or an apartment building?
It's an apartment building.
Shit, they can stay there.
Yeah, they just fix one of these units up. I mean, the units are livable. I don't have to do anything besides just some small things. But the rents at the as-is condition is only about $1,400. When it's fully renovated, what I'm gonna do, I can get $3,500.
All right.
Per door. These fucking. They're 700 square foot apartments.
That's a big.
Where'd you find this deal at?
Huh?
Where'd you find this deal?
We do through my text campaign and my RVMs.
So he still does the same wholesale strategy?
I still do the same stuff, yeah. And nothing savvy. Same stuff. I was doing cold calling. I just got tired of that shit. So I just stopped.
I remember when we were talking.
I mean, it's fucking all day, I'm not gonna lie. After a while, as many deals as I've done, I still don't constantly hearing no. You know what I mean? So and it keeps me off the phones, and this is much easier. Like my VAs manage
You're not using Zillow yet. Nothing to really find no deals. You can't really find no deals like that. Right?
No. So I use this website called Reonomy. REONOMY.
That sounds like Rihanna.
Now I had REONOMY. It has a monthly subscription. I think it's like $499 or something like that.
A monthly subscription for $499?
Yeah, but I mean it gives me so how many of you've heard of CoStar? Okay, so CoStar is like 20 G's a year. Okay, I mean it is the data aggregator, the national leader in data aggregator for commercial properties. Okay, I use Rihanna. It's a little bit cost efficient. They give you the numbers for all of the it's already skip traced in there, so I don't have to worry about going and do additional skip trace. So their primary account lets you pull 1,000 properties. I think it's a month. So we just pull that and run it and just go about it. But so that's so we're moving more. Like at some point, I'm probably not going to be in residential anymore. It's just it makes sense because I'm doing way bigger deals.
Too much work.
Yeah, like we have the mobile home park.
Yeah.
That's still under progress. So we're buying I think it's a 29 unit mobile home park. Mm-hmm. So we're taking that down.
I made a YouTube video about that.
Yeah,
too.
there's a YouTube video about that too. But yeah, so that's the end of my presentation.
Yes.
I think, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now suppose.
Yeah.
Look at them.
No, I appreciate the question.
No, we owe you something too, bro. We gotta get you.
No,
Yeah, we gotta get you something to replace.
Lil trying to make you turn to your sugar daddy. Order you some food. Like he don't want no wallet. Order from Audubon.
Now, as my position as a wholesaler, I know people with that money. How would I?
So here's what you could do. This is what I would recommend to you. You're gonna have a fee, right? What you do is say, hey, instead of you paying me that fee at closing, I'll save you money. Cut me into the deal. Give me equity.
Because I'm bringing a person.
Yeah, you're bringing the people, so you get cut into the deal. You slice your equity. Like guys, don't think of it like you have to fund the deal.
Right.
Like right now, this presentation is for you guys because Lillian told me that you guys are interested in it. But you guys know people, right? So.
Like what I did.
Yeah, so bring people. So like now what I'm doing with Lillian, I'm just being straight up. We haven't worked the exact numbers out, but every time she brings me somebody, I'm gonna kick her a fee. Right? Because it's only fair. She's helping my network grow, so it's only fair that she makes a living too. Now she could say, hey, Amit, instead of you giving me this fee, can you position me so you can kick me equity into the deal? It depends on where you are in your life financially. Maybe you need the money, take the money. There's no shame in it. I know in the beginning, I was just fixing and flipping because I wanted the money. Now I'm just like, I can make good chunks, but then I'm always running after the next deal. And that's not, the wealth or the legacy that I want to create. There's nothing, more to me that would be joyful than to be able to travel and be able to do this. Could you imagine having this meeting on a yacht, right? Like sitting at Miami or something when this deal's going on. I say, hey guys, fly down. I'll show you the deal. I rented a boat. Let's go hang out and let's talk, right? Wouldn't you rather do that and have your laptops and do your deals? Mm-hmm. So that's what I like to do. So while all these projects were going on, right, with my A+ contractors, I took a trip to Puerto Rico with my wife for 4 days. Did that, right? Projects were still moving. I was enjoying my life.
I think I brought you a deal when you were out there too.
Yeah, she did.
Like, I'm gonna be back.
He was like, I'm in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I think Raven, you had shot me. Yeah. So, I mean, here's the thing: as you grow this, what'll start happening is as you talk more about it, people are gonna start gravitating towards you. So, a lot of families gonna start doing that. My family, when I started out, nobody wanted to discuss anything. Now everybody's like, yo, I got money. They'll come pull me over to the side and be like, I got money. Like, I want to get involved. This and I got a couple other people that want to get involved. And before you know it, you'll be in a position where the funds will start rolling in. Mm-hmm. And then think about it this way, right? I think I was telling Raven and Lillian, if you had to put up 2 Facebook posts, right? One says, I have a deal, or I'm looking for deals. Post 1. And then you test another post that says, I have $200 million to deploy in real estate. Which post do you think is going to get the most comments and deal attraction? Exactly, because you got money. Everybody goes to go find deals, but if you find the money, you can make any deal. Because at the end of the day, the deal analysis is simple. When all the numbers are added up and subtracted and multiplied and divided, does the property cash flow? That's all you're worried about. Does it cash flow? Can it make you $100 a month or $200 a month? Even this deal, this Miami deal, I don't give a shit if it makes me $100 a door, right? That's $2,400, but I'm in the long-term game, right? When that 7-year hit comes, what's going to happen here is I'm going to buy your 60%. Mm-hmm. I'm going to buy your $6 million evaluation because I've got 40. Right. So I've got 40%. I only need to find 20%.
That person on what side?
Huh?
It's built.
Say that again?
With that person on, it's already built in their mind.
You have a buyout.
Yeah, my strategy, my exits already have a.
Yeah.
I already have the divorce in the contract.
Right.
You have to.
Always. I always start with the divorce first, then I get you to the marriage.
Right.
So we always start with the divorce, right? And that's business. It ain't personal.
People like to hang on.
And if people want to stay on, we'll work with you together. I don't have a problem keeping people in. Most people I know want to get on and get moving. Like, you might, at year 7, you're sitting on $6.5 million equity. Another deal might come where it could position you to triple that. Mm-hmm. You better pull that damn money out if you know you're going to make $24 million. Because you ain't making 24 with me sitting in this deal.
That's real.
Pull it out and go to the next deal. 1031 exchange it, so on and so forth. I mean, I can find you guys solutions all day long with this stuff. But so I hope this was informative, right? Because I wanted to make sure that the foundation level, the education is there. Because there might be some things that you didn't know today. I'm pretty sure you feel a little bit more empowered to take an action now, right? You might go home and do some more research. You might call me. You might be ready to lock into a deal because you got some education. Now that empowerment, the action comes, now you get to enrich. Enrichment to us means your legacy, your wealth that you're trying to build, your goal setting, and then how can you help other people? Because now you have the same responsibility that I'm doing that you have with others. Now I will give you this advice. If you decide to start raising money for your own deals, I don't care how rainy, stormy it gets in your life. If you have to give the shirt off your back, your children's, your wife, you give your shirt off their back, don't ruin and fuck up your relationship with your investors. Because those rainy days for you are gonna pass. Has everybody been in a rainy day in their life? Has everybody had good days? So you know life is like this, right? If you allow and you get down to the low and you fuck up those relationships, part of my language, you'll never get that trust back. You'll never get that trust back because this is only going to last for a season. And then you're going to be right back up on that climb. So that's why I always, every deal, my worst case situation has to be that you guys are made whole. I won't do a deal and bring in funding if I believe the risk is too high that you would lose your money. I can't guarantee you that I can always give you your money back. I would be immoral, unethical, and illegal for me to say that. But I make it my very best effort to make sure that I can do everything that I can to get your money back. Because that's what's important. Because you trusted me, so I want to make sure I perform on that trust. So that goes for whatever you decide to do with your own deals and so on and so forth. Always build it off of trust. Any questions?
Well,
Okay, go ahead. No, this is what I want.
I wanted to know how was you, like, what was the turnaround, like when you first started? I know earlier you stated that like you used to you tried to get a deal, but now you got 6 projects going on. So like, how was you able to scale your business? Like, what was the turning point? Like, where you started? Things started picking up.
So that what was last year? 2021? Yeah, 2020 in December, I closed a massive deal on a real estate project. I cashed out 140 G's profit on that deal. So I mean, I did 3 deals that year. I probably tripled my salary in what I was doing in my W-2, right? So from there, I'm like, all right, I got enough burn rate that I'm gonna stop single family. Like I don't want to focus on single family because fixing and flipping was not the goal. It was when I started. COVID hit, and I didn't have enough network or connection to money to exercise the strategies that I'm going over now. I didn't have the wherewithal, the knowledge. So I'm like, okay, I got to pivot in my business. So I pivoted and just sold everything. I knew I bought it so cheap that I was gonna make money. So now as the year went on, I'm just like, man, this is still not my goal. This is not what I want. All I really wanted to do was just replace my salary with rental income, with passive income, so I can take care of my expenses, live a meaningful life, and
that's how with the family.
Thank you very much, sir. Right? That's the goal. So I haven't achieved that goal. That first year that I was the 2020, I just flipped. Now that I've got a lot more knowledge and ability and access to a lot more resources, we're back to that square one. Like, man, what are we trying to accomplish? And what we're trying to accomplish is make positive income. And so in January of last year, I made that decision, but learned the hard way. So from January to July, I didn't close the deal. Now my funds are starting to burn, right? Because I got housing expenses, my wife, my children, life, right? Business. I'm like, man, I'm not gonna make it if I keep going this way. I'm gonna spend all my money. So I got back into residential. So from July till December, I locked up 12 deals. Okay? Now,
Wholesaling or?
I don't wholesale. I've actually never did a traditional wholesale deal.
Oh.
I know how to do it. I know how the ins and outs work, but I was having this conversation with Ray. My profits are so large that I had one bad taste. I'll give you an example. 1316 Morgan Street. I locked that property up for, I think it was like 10 G's, right? Just on a wholesale, as is value was 100 G's. So all in all, after expenses, I think I was gonna walk away with like 69,000.
Okay.
So being it was my first time doing a wholesale deal, I sent the biggest buyer in New Jersey, the biggest buyer, not some Joe Schmo here. I know how to find the biggest buyer. So I found him, called him, sent it. He's like, yeah, send me the deal. Sent him the deal. Sent him all the documents. Sent him my assignment agreement. It had my assignment fee. he saw that I was gonna rip 69, and in all honesty, he was probably gonna rip like 30 when it was all fixed up. So he like ghosted me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, this motherfucker, right? Like, I'm mad as hell this motherfucker did that to me. So then after that, what I did was, I'm like, all right, pivot. I'm just gonna list it. I just listed it on the MLS. I sold it as is, 125. So I think I ripped like 85 on that, just that wholesale. But I don't do, like, I have a great relationship with Raven. So she knows, like, hey, bring me the deal, whatever your numbers, I don't care if you rip 50 G's, I don't care. As long as the numbers work for me, I'll buy it. Like the deal we did in Lawnside, I gave her my number, this is what I can buy it at. I don't get into negotiating, none of that. This is my number. If it works for you, send me the paperwork and I'll sign the contract. I mean, how many days we took? 2 days? The next day I signed it. I met her and I signed it. So I don't care because I know how it feels to me. Everybody's got to make a living, whatever. Yeah. So I don't do general, typical wholesale deals. If I'm just going to flip it as is, I put it on the MLS. Because you're going to get more activity. So even for you, I'd encourage you, just list it. You're probably going to get more. I know you can get it done quicker, but there's some tricks I'll show you to kind of get some more equity out of it. But that was a quick one, right? We got in and out, and so that's usually how these projects go. Yeah. Anything else?
Amit, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna talk to my individual questions a little.
Oh, okay.
Small,
Sure.
maybe fun and stuff though, you know.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. So,
yeah, how can we stay in touch with you?
Yeah.
all right, yeah. So I got my YouTube channel. It's the Amit Darji Show. I should have put that out, right?
Yeah, you should have put that. I'm gonna put it in the group. I'm gonna put it in the link.
My Instagram is Amit_H_Darji, DARJI.
And Lillian posted too on.
Yeah, I'm posting on
Perfect.
the links. Yeah.
What else I got? I got Facebook, which is Amit Darji. TikTok, Amit_H_Darji.
And Amit posts every 2 seconds on.
I post, not every 2 seconds, I post every hour. So that's another thing, guys. I mean, like, if you're not on social media, you're losing out a lot.
I be trying to tell people.
Like heavy. I'll give you an example what convinced me. I already knew in my mind that it was very beneficial. But this goes back to what Brian was saying about, aren't you busy, like with all these projects? And I am. So whenever the time came for me to decide, like, all right, I'm gonna make content, there was always something the deal needed. And obviously the deal, which is gonna bring me money now, needs my focus than something that maybe has a 6-month, 9-month, 12-month, 2-year payout, right? I don't know. But I went to this conference in October. You guys might have heard of this gentleman, Austin Rutherford.
Yeah.
Okay, white guy, bald head.
Yeah.
Okay,
Glasses?
so he was there.
You wear glasses? Sometimes?
Sometimes, I think.
Yeah.
His wife is African American as well. Yep. So I met him at the conference, and he was getting ready to go on stage to present his business. He shows me his cell phone, his TikTok. He's like, watch when I get off of stage how many messages there are. 30 minutes later, 299 messages. Those are all deals. Between his educational course, him buying properties, 299 in 30 minutes. And he's like, bro, I used to have a whole marketing department. I removed them all. Like I don't have no marketing. My marketing is my brand. It's me. My social media delivers and drives all my leads. Now it takes time. Don't get it twisted. It takes time. I'll be texting Lillian like, yo, I hit like 30,000 views or this and that. I don't know what all that means anyway. But I have a goal, and that goal is from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. I post every hour. Well, I don't. My team does. And I think we're on week 5. So think about it. 5 weeks, every single day. Saturday and Sunday, there's only 2 times a day. But if you just take Monday through Friday, that's 10 times 50. 50 times 4, that's 200. I've got 600 pieces of content by the end of next month. Or end of this month. 600 pieces of content. My team gets it. They chop it up, edit it, and do all that. Out of that, my following on subscriptions on YouTube has grown positive by 71 subscribers. And that's only in since the beginning of December. So it has its benefits. I just raised my, now I know this person from my old jobs in W2. Him and I, when I was working in pharma, talked about real estate investing. But we kind of lost touch throughout the industry. And he calls me and I'm like, hey, his name is Amit as well. He's like, hey Amit, what's going on? I'm like, nothing, man. Like, I completely forgot about, you had sent me an email, or you were supposed to send me an email. It was in my spam. And then I saw your LinkedIn videos and it made me realize, like, oh, let me reach back out. Guy wants to put in 100 G's, right? So where I lost touch with, my social media brought in 100 G's. Mm-hmm. See the value? So when people say, what's the payout? Well, there's the payout. So my consistency for the last 60 days has allowed me to help raise $100,000 in funding.
I mean, and that's how we stay together too.
Yeah.
Because we met one time.
So me and Lily and I on Mondays have a social media mastermind that we hold. So we're just like testing things in there, like what's working, what's not. For example, TikTok, because I have my VAs that post for me on TikTok. So my VAs are in the Philippines, and I give them access to my accounts, or I create business suites. Well, TikTok realized that my VA is posting from Manila, Philippines. So I went from averaging maybe about 150 views a video to like 1 or 2 or 0. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Like, I'm not getting any views all of a sudden. Right. Then I did some research. I'm like, and I didn't know this. So I was like, I told Lillian, like, yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna test this. Like, I'm gonna put a VPN, so it masks the Philippine IP address, so like it's over here, and automatically my viewership actually has gone up now. So now her VPN is like set up for Virginia. So now I know that works. I'm gonna buy a VPN and have her like almost like if she's right next to me. So I believe my viewership will go up more as well.
It will.
So yeah,
the algorithm.
Yeah. So that's what we're doing on the social media mastermind. So hopefully we're gonna roll out some materials as we test and develop more stuff for everybody. But you should definitely be on social media deals.
Just a network, man.
I'm telling you, I'm getting to the point, and I know you asked it, like, are you just taking money, right? Like, and then we're getting to the point where like I'm gonna have to start doing that. Like now we're just like taking money and just automatically paying an interest rate, and then we're diversifying that money into our real estate portfolio. Because I'll be just honest, I don't have enough deals to go fund, $100 billion. I don't have that many deals. That's why networking with people, getting deals. So,
So I just want to emphasize, I mean, the whole point of you coming was for us to not only learn about the whole model of things, but really learn how like you're doing your thing. But I think you really provided us an opportunity to get in with you and experience firsthand. And like you said, if it's not us that are personally investing, I'm sure we know people who want to invest. So no matter what, like we should be able to leave here not only with knowledge, but with some form of action of like what we plan to do with all this information. I think Amit is a great resource. I told you guys in the group, like, I think we just should invest with him, take that experience, and then whatever we want to do with it from that point on, we can do with it. Like we could start building our own private, doing our own private lending and everything like that. But
yeah, I can almost guarantee you there's probably about $25 million sitting in this room.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be all of yours, but between the people that you know, people who you connect with. Mm-hmm. So the other day, so we're starting a newsletter for our company because we just have so many investors coming in. We want to keep them abreast as to what's going on. So I just went through my phone, right? Like known people that I know, if I call, will invest, right? I got 37 people out of my contacts, okay? I know on average what their wealth is. I have a pretty strong understanding of what their wealth is. Those 37 contracts have over $250 million that I have access to. Just sit down on your phone. How many of you have an iPhone? Put your hand up.
Everybody.
Okay. Well, all you Android motherfuckers better switch. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why right now. I'm gonna tell you why right now. All right. All my people that are on Apple, go to your open up. and type in on your search shortcuts.
Okay.
Now don't go crazy with this shit that I'm about to show you, okay? I'm gonna show you a real funky, neat trick. Let me know when you have it.
Download it.
Okay, so anywho, it's called shortcuts. Batch leads, you can send text message to, like mass texting, lead Sherpa, all those stuff, right? But they use other carriers, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Off your iPhone, you can send mass text messages. And your number is verified by your carrier, so it won't get spammed. So I have a built-in, it's like creating codes. And I'll send you the link. So I have one, Cash Investors, okay? So I have a script set up in my phone. So what you do is you go on your iCloud on your computer and you create groups. You can't, unfortunately, you can't do it on your iPhone unless you download an app. I can send you that as well. But you go on iCloud.com, log in, all your contacts show up, correct? On the left-hand side, on the bottom, says plus. Create a group and call it Cash Money or whatever you want to call it, right? And now the people that you know would lend, put them in that group. And you're going to do this twice a week. One text message blast that you're going to say is this. Well, this is just what I say. Hey, script, first name, so it'll pull the first name. It's Amit. It's been a while since we have touched base, so I just wanted to see how things are going. Now, it's just a friendly touching base, right? I'm not pitching nothing. How would you feel if every week you receive something like that from me? Hey man, just thinking about you, man. How's everything going? Hey, so that's just touching base, right? The second text you want to send during that week is a value. Hey, I have this deal going on. Here's kind of what's going on with it. Tell me what you think. So you send that text. It's all automated. I got 37 people in here, right? So now when I hit play, I'm not going to do it now, but when I hit play, it'll automatically start sending text messages from your cell phone. From your cell phone. You don't verified carrier, right? I got Verizon. Maybe some of you got T-Mobile or whatever you got. Verified carrier. You think they're going to spam your text? Hell no. It's a verified carrier.
Right.
So that's another way you stay in touch.
That's really smart.
So data shows that 98% of people view their information on their phones. My newsletter is going to be on their phone. I'm going to have their email, but text message for the newsletter, right? And all the other contacts that you don't know or unsure of that they want to get involved, just keep them up to date.
Now,
First text message, let's say you haven't talked to your cousin in 6 years and they live in North Carolina. Put them in a group that says first time touching base. Put all the people that you're going to touch base. Hey, listen, I know things have been hectic in life with everything going on with COVID. I just wanted to touch base and say hi. How you doing? How's life going on?
Then they ask you for money.
I
just went through that. They'd be like, I ain't talked to you in 2 years.
You put them in the do not text list then, right? Do not.
Right, you put your own do not text list.
Then you create a do not text list, right? And then just say, right? But what happens is now, look. Take care, man.
You too, bro.
So if you need to let me know. So what happens out of that? You're gonna get responses, right? You're gonna segregate those responses. People who are interested, people who aren't. You're gonna know just by people communicating. It's just constantly staying in front of their mind. So that's something I've been doing. My social media team is gonna put the newsletter together. I think probably end of this week or next week.
You got on Android.
Huh?
You got on Android.
I don't got nothing for
That's why
Android.
he said switch.
I've been telling you.
I don't know about no Android, but
Samsung is the best, man.
sure, it might be in your apps. All right, so I'm gonna send you the video how to do it. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, anything you
You
wanna
have
share.
all their
Yeah, anything you want
So
to share.
everybody have Lily, you have everybody's email.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I will
everybody
need.
drop it in the
No,
group.
we'll drop it in the group. I just
Yeah, because
started
I'm gonna
Gary,
send
can you
you. I'm gonna send you the PDF book on what I just presented. That was 10 slides. The PDF actually has like 20 pages worth of documentation. But I'm not a teacher and I don't like reading shit. I don't learn that way. So I'll send you that. I'll send you the shortcut stuff. I didn't create this. I found this guy on YouTube doing it. So I'll send you that link as well, and all my social media stuff, so you guys have that as well.
Yes.
So,
No, share it in the group.
share it in the group, and let's go make some money.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, bro.
Absolutely, guys.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
And I mean, we're gonna